it kind of helped them advance. I mean, do you think this was a conspiracy?
Gotta go with Jacob Butter. Gotta go
No,
lefty.
we're talking about the players. That's tournament champion to the podcast.
There he is, right there.
Oh, he doesn't even know how to watch. Go to youtube.com and search Down Lane Podcast. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Down Lane Podcast. We are streaming live from the lab at Town and Country Lanes. I'm your host, Kyle Haines, and with me is the assistant to the host, just in time, Anthony Scaccia. Welcome to the show.
Oh, it's me.
Yeah.
Hey, Kyle.
Or as Pizza Wings likes to put it, the Unibowler. You know why?
Bummer.
See the pair of shades, yeah.
Why am I the Unibowler?
Because you got your hoodie up.
I am cold.
As per usual.
It is frozen outside.
It's a little chilly out today.
Yeah, I wore shorts. Bad idea. It's like negative. It feels like it should be snowing. I don't understand. 54,
It is not that bad.
55, and it's freezing in here.
Doug, it is 7 p.m. We're running late. Anthony had prior engagements.
I was eating.
He was testing his food out for his wedding.
We'll say ate quite a bit. If I do say so myself, I am not bowling good tonight.
Yeah, good excuse. Austin, how's it going tonight?
Good. Yeah, tired.
Welcome
Me
back
too.
to the show, Austin.
We're here.
After a week hiatus. You got a week off.
Yeah, I got a week off. Let me tell you, I took the best nap before bowling last week.
Did it work out in your favor?
So good. Wait, we bowled last week. I did.
You
at
did.
least.
Anthony,
Ugh,
I could
know.
not believe Anthony showed up.
What an incredible performance.
All right, on tonight's episode, we are going to be going over our Nationals preparation. We did some practice last night. We're going to talk about some equipment. We're going to be recapping the Masters, our experience last week. And, oh, by the way, Stu Williams will be joining us in the second half of the episode. So that'll be fun. He's going to talk about the Masters with us. We're also going to ask him some questions about the upcoming World Series of Bowling.
The World Series.
Of bowling.
Right.
So that'll be fun. So stick around for that. Don't forget to comment to us during the show. And also, like, subscribe, click the bell to get alerts from the channel. Check out that merch shop on Etsy. And also check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter,
Base.
all
Tweet
that
machine,
good stuff.
Instant grams.
What's up? Jack Papow!
JP.
How's it going? So, before we get started here, how was your week this week?
Today's Thursday, April 6th, 7:04 p.m. Today's Thursday. So, my partner and I, we won Tuesday night. This week. Big match. Playoff time. We ended up doing pretty good the first two. Kind of made it a little bit easy for us to win the last one. We just had to win 1 point. We had to either win total, one of us, because it's head-to-head, and then total pins as well. So we just needed to take one more kind of like point or whatever you want to call it to advance, and we did that. So that was good. Monday got bounced from the playoffs. We had a chance to make it. Shot 140 game 2. So that wasn't good. What?
140. Tell us about a 140 game.
I don't even remember what happened. I was tired. I was slow. I was just throwing it, and I was like, wow, I'm just not bowling good. I think I shot 260 the first game. 260, 140.
So 200 average.
I know. I think I was still minus.
Well, mathematically, that's not possible, but
Well,
okay.
mathematically, I can't do math. So did that on Monday, and then yesterday was Wednesday. We practiced a little bit, tried out some bowling balls I don't normally use, and that was my week. Kyle,
Nice.
How was your week? How was your week?
I took a lot of time off.
So by a lot of time off, you mean 7 days?
Yep. And went golfing
Fishing?
in the golf simulator with my son. That was fun.
Who was better? Definitely not you. Wait, which one?
Zach.
Oh, he hit bombs, didn't he? He totally is better than you.
That's right. Someday. We'll get him on the real links eventually.
Maybe he'll be a
So
fisherman.
that was fun. Torqued my back up. That felt really good.
Oh, is that why your back hurt last night?
I'm just getting old. My back just hurts in general.
I mean, you're 30.
Old.
Oh, fine. You don't want to pronounce your name on here or your age. I mean, I know you're scared. I know.
36.
You know,
I'll be
you're
37
scared.
this month.
Wow. Happy freaking belated birthday.
So, yeah, that was it. And then the first time I bowled since we got back was Wednesday, last night, where we bowled on, what year was that? Doubles and singles. Last year, doubles and singles pattern.
Yeah, last year.
Which
42 feet.
was really weird. It didn't seem to play at all like last year, at least from my memory.
Well, we have HPLs or SPLs. So,
I understand.
You know, it's probably going to hook a little more.
I get that, but usually they seem to play pretty close when we oil them up and we practice. They seem to play pretty close. And they hooked off the gutter, and I don't remember that last year.
The
Do you
gutter
remember them
hooks
hooking up there?
No, because my lane went left.
I had hook.
Austin had a boatload hook. My lane
I had hook.
my lane went left. My left lane went left.
I mean, I did good in singles, or doubles rather,
I bowled okay.
but I just don't remember having that much hook off the gutter. So I understand that our gutters hook here, but
I just don't remember hook in general.
Yeah.
You could be throwing it better too.
Actually, you know what? I lied. I did have hook last year. I threw my Attitude Pearl, and that ball hooked there.
at the beginning.
No. I used my Attitude Control, my urethane, and then went into Pearl, and I could just wheel the lane, and that's what I could do last night too with just stronger equipment. So, maybe the left side's good and the right side stinks here. I don't know.
Maybe. But yeah, I was just throwing a bunch of. Well, I brought the 6 balls last night that I am feeling like I'm going to bring at the beginning of June. So I thought maybe we'd talk about that, a little segue, about our nationals preparation here. So
Paul Blart.
Yeah, segue. Got it. Yeah, I'm thinking I've got my 6 locked down.
They're already locked.
I said thinking.
Oh, I dropped my cup.
Couldn't
believe it.
I didn't lock them in with a padlock yet. Combination, key.
I think we need to
So
drill
you just
that
gotta
ball
tie
right
it
there
up
for
with
you.
string right now.
What's that?
You just got to tie it up with string right now.
Right. They're. I guess they're not locked, but they're zipped up.
It's so hard for me to pick. I just feel like I'll pick before I go.
Yeah, but
Because, like, Purple Hammer is
That's
just...
what I do.
Oh, pizza wings. If we needed a player.
yeah, we'll let you know.
Never say never.
That's right. You never know who's gonna drop.
I mean, Purple Hammer, Purple Resin. I already
Pretty
filled
much
up.
anything purple.
Yeah, we know.
Anything purple, I'm good with. I'm good with purple balls.
So basically, I'm kind of sticking with the advice that we usually give people, which is big
Strong
ASIM, big symmetrical, pearl ASIM, pearl symmetrical, spare ball, which is going to be purple urethane, and then
Same.
kind of your go-to, which is
Bailout ball.
which is going to be the IQ Tour.
You have to bring that ball.
But it also ends up being a pretty good progression, which we were talking about this a little bit last night. So depending on where I start, whether it's going to be like the green ball, I can never
Quantum
get,
Evo.
thank you, Quantum Evo Solid, or the Phase 2, I can.
I got my hood down.
Jeez, I can start to move in a little bit, and then either go to something like my 3D offset, which is my ASIM Pearl.
You do like that one quite a bit.
Ish. And then it reads early, but still, if I'm straight enough, we'll have good continuation.
It's not flippy, it's smoother.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is what we need there.
Right.
Typically. And then what I can do is then move into, once they start to break down, move into the IQ Tour, because it's still surface, but it's weak. So I can move in, have down lane hook, and then once they really break down, go to the high road pearl, which is just it would be too early to go from the 3D offset to the high road pearl.
So are you bringing the high road pearl?
Yeah.
Huh.
That's my plan.
Okay.
Why are you thinking phase 5 instead?
I'm not thinking at all, actually.
Oh, okay. Well, it sounded like you were questioning.
Yeah, I was just surprised to hear the high road pearl because you never use that ball.
I know, but I think with 10 people on the lane for teams, eventually they're going to get broken down enough that I'm going to need to be far enough left and have enough down lane reaction that I need that ball.
What surface is your IQ Tour at?
It's still at 4K.
You haven't touched it?
Oh, I'm sorry. IQ Tour. I was thinking of High Road Pearl. No, yeah. IQ Tour is still original. So original surface.
So lane shine.
Yes.
Okay. So lane shine.
Which I believe is ideal surface for the IQ Tour.
That's just interesting. I was just questioning because for me, I'm going to do it a little differently this year. Obviously, I'm going to have the purple hammers, and I'm not trying to take away from your. No, just 2 this year. But I'm going to break it off into the quicker responding balls to friction and the slower responding balls to friction. I'm not going to look at it in the big ASIM, pearl ASIM. I'm going to look at it I'm going to watch what the balls do with my eyes, and I've got enough experience with foam balls, so I should be able to determine which ones are going to be slower, which would be for the fresh, and which ones will be a little bit quicker, which will give me a little bit more of a hockey stick shape of responding faster friction. So I can kind of make a judgment call there. I don't really know, like we were talking about it last night. I feel as if we should have a small get-together with guys who want to go and maybe go to dinner, and just guys who want to be competitive and talk about it. Go to dinner, sit down, watch some videos prior to going there from the USBC, see how people have played the
lanes. Which there aren't a lot of, by the way, this year.
Right, there is very few.
We're going to talk about that in a minute.
And I feel like we should sit down and just maybe chat about what we're going to bring. Now, it doesn't have to be like, obviously, we don't have to get super nerdy into it, but we can just discuss what we see over dinner, hang out. It doesn't have to be anything like sit around and watch people's videos. No, it's just talk about what we see on the Facebook and, hey, what do you want to bring, and what kind of mentality or strategy do you want to try to go into it? Because they look like they're tougher this year, which means all the patterns in the machine I put in are almost useless because they look like they're more like the other ones are. What up, Jake B? Dude, just being bros. Yeet, yeet. So, freaking this guy here. Weird name. I've never seen it.
Yeah, I don't know who this Jake guy is, but thanks, Jake.
But we did talk about that last night, Kyle and I, and we just said, hey, maybe we should do it. See who's interested. So maybe we'll get along with that. But for me, I'm not really looking at it yet. But if I had to guess, I'd have to do a mindset, 2 purple hammers, which is 3, and then I'd probably do it's so hard right now. I guess I would just do a bruiser and a melee jab. That'll give me 5, and I don't know, throw another one in there. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not there yet. I'm not at that point. I am testing some bowling balls out, but we'll have to see. But the patterns definitely look harder, which is what we're getting into now. I mean, are we chatting about this today?
Well,
I just got back from my wedding tasting, and now I'm talking bowling. What a heck of a day! I just had a bunch of food.
Wow, you're unbelievable.
I'm ready to go.
But that's what I was going to get into next was the scores seem to be a little bit lower, even though the top couple of teams came out of the gate with 3,400s.
Let's look at how good those guys were, though. They were good.
Top tier, high caliber bowlers. Right. And I think former Eagle winners too.
Yeah.
But they what I was getting at was the scores last year. I feel like we saw some honor scores and some high team scores and doubles and singles and all this stuff right out of the gate, all the way through until the end of the tournament. This year, they're having to revert to videos from last year to keep their feed going, meaning like they've got nothing to post this year.
Lane maintenance and protocol. They made a video about that because they have nothing to post, which I think it is cool that they post that because it does show, what they're doing to make each squad as close as possible,
Yeah.
and they check.
It's good
machines.
information.
It's really nice to have that they do. Hey, this is what we're doing, guys. So you can see exactly how we're
Yeah.
maintaining these lanes and machines. I do like that, but you're right. I looked last night. I think I went through the whole thing in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Like the scores, and it's like they all threw DNA. Most of them threw DNAs, and they kept it pretty straight up the lane.
Mm-hmm.
And there was maybe 2 other guys who wheeled it.
Yeah.
In singles and doubles.
Well,
and that was it.
game 6.
Yeah. So
yeah.
It doesn't tell us much, which is interesting to see that they're kind of reverting. So,
but that's what I was going to bring up is no 300s yet. Last year we already saw
we have a 299, correct?
Yeah, 1 or 2. But if
Okay.
Austin's got the sheet to bring up,
But
there's 1 or 2 299s. And let's see here. No 800s. So let's see. 299 game 1, 298 1, 311 in a rows. And
which
like
2 of those are the 298, 299?
No, they're actually different names.
Okay,
So I mean, I guess there
so
are
there's
11 in a
about-
rows that weren't.
There's about 511 in a row.
Right, because those were 290s and 279s.
Okay.
So
So
the other ones were just labeled as 299s and 298s.
They're not as easy.
Right.
No, but the other thing too is I guess it's what are we in? We're in April.
Right. It's only been going on a month.
And I don't know how many they had last year at this time.
I tried to look that up, but they don't date them.
Okay. You'd have to go back and watch all the videos. I feel like around this time is when we started to see leagues are shutting down. So the guys are now able to make that travel. So I would expect to see some more videos in the next 3 weeks.
So yeah, and a lot of the guys, and Joey D just reminded me that the 298 game was a blowout 7-10 too. So could have been a 300. I mean, probably a lot of them could have been, but
daggone.
But yes, a lot of the lead scores come in June and July. Because I think that's when a lot of the
guys are able to
high caliber players end up going.
But we did see a lot of scores, I think, right around this time last year. So it'll be interesting to see what we got.
So question is, is it the lane pattern or is it the lanes? So
is it the building? Right? Are you saying the building?
Right, the physical lane surface, right?
Well,
because if we look at the topography, we don't know what the lane pattern is. So that's why I'm questioning. Do we think that the USBC reverted back to difficult lane patterns, or do we think
it's just the surface
that the lane surface is a little harder? Because what Austin just brought up, this is the topography report for the bowling stadium.
I sure do want to be on that pair right there.
And if people don't know,
18.
I like that pair.
If people don't know what they're looking at, this is a topography report. Blue and yellow are influencing.
No. Blue, like the deeper blue and purples.
Yes, what I'm about to say is they're influencing from the outside in. So if it's blue on the left side, it's going left to right.
Yes.
If it's yellow on the right side, it's going right to left.
And green is pretty much
what you don't want to see is yellow on the left side and blue on the right side.
Right.
Now, if you bring up South Point, which is the last link I sent you, you'll see why scores, in my opinion, are a lot higher.
Well, the other thing we should put in there too is that, I don't know if they changed their lane surface recently in Reno. With the upgrade.
Think they did.
That's the high end. That's got to be the high end. What lane is that?
No, this is South Point. This is 1 and 2.
Wow, 1 and 2 hooks that much. Well, that looks like the high end on South Point as well.
But this is the difference between South Point and National Bowling Stadium is that they hook off the gutter there.
Yeah.
Whereas
that's why
Bowling Stadium is way flatter.
So maybe that's why we're seeing so many honor scores there. I mean, that is a gosh darn amount of hook.
So when you see red,
there's a little bit of blue on that right lane there. That's typically you don't want to see that, and the heads hook a boatload.
Right.
I mean, there is a lot of flatter lanes in Reno as we look at the topography report. But let's not forget, people, that topography changes as the weather and the seasons change. So when you're out there, it might show you what it is, and it might be pretty close, right? So it might be close, but the lanes move and the cribbing moves. Isn't that what we call it? The cribbing.
The cribbing is
it's underneath and what the lanes
the
basically
pine
sit
underneath,
on.
and then
Everything
the
moves.
sub lane is underneath the
Everything
panels.
moves. It's like a living organism.
Yes.
That's what I
Ryan,
tell
what's
people.
going on, man?
What's
What
that?
up, Ryan?
Oh,
Ryan
what's up,
Walla.
Ryan?
So it's interesting, that we talk about that, and maybe the lanes are flatter, so there's just less. There's less free hook. We'll
Right.
just call it free hook. But I think the first year we were there, when they put out something that was pretty tough, I'd be surprised if it's just they went back to something a little harder. Because I remember the first year we went to Vegas. Obviously, granted, there was more bowling on it, obviously, after the few years go on, so lanes change, friction changes. But I just would be surprised if it was that much the lane beds, and they hooked way less 2 years prior. Now, obviously, we've only been to South Point 3 times.
2 times? 3 times?
3 times.
Wow.
We went back-to-back years, mask year last year, and 18 or 19, and then COVID was in the middle.
Syracuse.
It was Syracuse, Vegas.
Oh yeah, 3 years.
COVID year,
3 years.
Vegas,
Gone.
Vegas.
Yep, you're right.
So I don't know if they really changed that much over the 3 years, or if they just got more lineage on them and they started hooking more. But I remember the first year, I don't know what I was doing. I was hooking the whole lane. That was probably the dumbest thing I ever did. But I actually bowled halfway decent. But I don't remember them hooking that much.
Right.
So I think more or less, I would think that they probably tightened up the pattern a little bit to control the scores a little bit. Obviously, the flatter lanes will probably help too, but I think they probably made it tougher too, which then both equaling out made it
even
double.
harder.
Yeah.
Right. And the videos that we've seen, like the guys that are leading right now with 34-80 or something like that, it looked like to start, they opened up with like 1200, and it looked like to start that game, they were playing dead straight in the track, not giving the head pin away at all.
Yeah.
With big surface bowling balls.
Yeah, I've talked to a few people, and they've said that the lane pattern, how it just looks. Obviously, we're not going to we're just going to take the topography and the whatever friction out of play here. We're just going to talk about the oil pattern itself. It appears as if they've given away the comfort zone like we've had the past 2 years, where you can kind of start off where everybody's kind of comfortable here. It seems like that's gone now, and they went back to kind of where they make you uncomfortable to start. So wearing in that lane should be important, but it looks like they took that away. So we'll have to see. We'll have to put some older patterns out.
Yeah.
To try to get us uncomfortable, maybe change a little bit here and there, just to try to make it more uncomfortable for us, because obviously we're all really comfortable bowling here because we bowl here all the time. So we got to make it a little bit different so we can kind of feel the difference of some sort, and see what we can do. But
yeah, brother Joey sent me 2016, which is the last time they were there, and it was like 1.6 or 1.7 to 1.
that's when they were still super hard.
Yeah.
That was the year before we went, right?
2 years. 2017 would be a year. 26. I think it's 2016 is what he sent me as the last time they were there.
So I'll have to put that machine you're
Yeah, and now it's the last couple of years has been 2.4, 2.5 or something like that.
They've been around there,
Yeah.
Hittable.
Say again.
It's been hittable.
Yeah,
I
right.
can't remember exactly.
but not as low as 1.5 basically, which is what it was back then. And even in Syracuse, it was hard. And in Syracuse, the lanes were crowned. They weren't dished.
I remember Syracuse.
They were crowned. If you look at the topo report for that,
Syracuse was rough.
you're telling me.
Oh, Syracuse.
Shut up, Anthony. We know.
Only good look I had was when I jumped in and didn't let the ball get past 15 to the right.
Yeah.
You guys are just jealous because I shot 660 during the team event, and I snowplowed every one.
You did too. It was unbelievable.
I snowplowed every shot with out there. I remember it was with a pin down Tundra, and I just fired missiles up the lane. So that is cool. Ryan, it is going to be a great time. It is a great experience, and we have gone ever since we went for the first time, and we bring about 40 or 50 players.
Yeah, next year we're bringing 50.
Yeah, thanks, Kyle.
You think Daryl? Thank you, Daryl.
Yeah, thanks, Kyle.
Relax. So, Austin, what are you thinking about bringing this year, since we haven't heard from you yet?
Well, Quantum Evo Pro, obviously.
Yeah, that's your go-to, like 100% of the time.
Actually, I have a list. I made a list.
Ooh, making notes.
Hello.
So I got Verge Solid, Power Torque Pearl, my Pin Down Activate, and Purple Hammer.
So no. Oh, you did say Verge Solid?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought so.
Yeah,
That's one of your good
I'm
ones.
replacing the Quantum Evo Solid with the Verge Solid.
So you still have some holes to fill. Because I only heard like 4.
Why would you fill the
Fine.
holes? Wouldn't you just drill
That was
more?
all of them.
Huh?
That was all of them.
That was 6.
Maybe he's bringing 5.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Maybe I just
6.
my listening ears were off, even though they're attached to my
So
head right now.
you were right about the lane pattern. 2.6 and 2.7 last year.
Right.
The 2019, which was pre-COVID, was 1.9.
And that was South Point.
That was South Point. And 2015 was 1.8. 2014 was 2.6. 13 was 2.5. So I don't know. They've been around that area.
Yeah.
But they've been, we'll call it softer.
Oh yeah, for
the
sure.
past few years. And then it looks like they're a little bit back to hard. So I'm glad you guys got your stuff picked out. I just threw a few out there because I don't know what the heck I'm gonna bring. I mean,
Well, I have a limited choice when it comes to my bigger surface stuff. I mean, I only have.
Kyle doesn't like the bigger surface stuff.
I do, but then you get out of it so fast. You know what I mean?
Well, you guys do.
Yes, true.
You know, when you're the only lefty over there, you just.
I try to stay in it as long as I can. It's
Austin,
usually 2 frames too long.
You know when you play like Call of Duty, you're like, man, those campers are killing me. Yeah, well, on the left side, I'm a camper, baby. I don't fucking move. I just sit in the same spot all day. And we'll just move a little board right here and hit it a little harder, I guess. You guys are moving 5 boards in one shot.
No, I do not move that many. Which is
I
maybe
will
my
say,
problem.
Last year, I did not move virtually at all from doubles and singles. Maybe 3 boards total.
You got a fist bump from Sean Rash.
I did get a fist bump. From
Unreal.
Sean Rash.
Yeah, maybe that was my problem in doubles and singles. Maybe I moved too much because I shot lights out in doubles and then shot 590.
Why did you move?
Nick shot 140.
He was like, I don't know.
160, 140.
I forget.
And then he went
It
260.
started with a 1.
Good for him. I'm proud of him. That was good. That was a good set.
Yeah.
Are you gonna drill anything extra? Or are you done?
I don't know. I'm good right now. I don't really need anything.
Austin, you gonna drill anything?
Whatever. Unless it's
Probably.
46 feet again, and then maybe I will.
Wow, Kyle. Shots
Nah.
fired. Bang bang.
I won't say no because probably.
I think I'm done. 135, Nick Harris. Let's go. 135 to
There he is.
260. Yeah.
There's my partner.
I don't think I'm gonna drill. I think I'm done. Nick Harris just drilled the DNA. It rolled really good, so I wouldn't be surprised if other people drilled one.
That ball is good.
It rolls really good, and we really need to drill you in eternity.
That ball looked good out there too.
I told Kyle the second I saw him on Saturday, I said that eternity looked good, huh?
Listen, I saw Zach Phillips throw it, and he couldn't freaking miss, dude. It was unreal.
I mean, he's been throwing that, an IQ Tour Ruby, and a DNA, and they all
The
They all
IQ
are
Tour
good.
is unreal.
They all are rolling really good. I mean, shoot. I mean, they're all. The Eternity was basically a remake of the Altered, so of course it's going to be good, and it's got the Hypercell colors. Freaking gosh darn! And then the DNA. I mean, the DNA is pretty good. It's a little bit different. It's got a higher intermediate diff than we really see from Storm, especially on the solid side, which I was surprised. I can't remember their highest other one. I think it was Proton. That's my guess. I think that was like 019, and this one's like 023 or something ridiculous. It's kind of like a mindset. They're very similar in terms of where they are. And that IQ Tour, you can't go wrong with that IQ Tour. Ruby one, bank it off the gutter.
Mikey makes it look good.
Mikey used it today. Mayor Mike, shout out to you if you're watching. Kid came in practice today, told me he had to practice on long today. So we were throwing out a 44-footer for him, my little test pattern, the one I put in the machine. So that way, you ever want to test the ball or whatever, we always have the same ones in. And he was, he was hooking the whole lane, just per usual. Mikey, you got to move a little in.
And rip it.
No,
that
no, no.
kid.
He just rips it.
Yeah.
There ain't nothing. He rips his hand on the ball, and he rips his thumb hole and his thumb. Kid's crazy.
Oh, boy.
20 games today.
20 games. Is that all?
20 games he bowled.
Wow. He's unstoppable.
Here's what it is.
Well, you had to ball rep this weekend. You didn't mention that in your.
I forgot I was a ball rep this weekend, and how do I feel about ball repping? So you want me to, I brought my cousin down, little Mikey. We went to Kingston, down for a little youth event. And they had a long pattern out, and I took him down there just because he really wanted to go. And we were a little bit busy on the weekend. And, my uncle put some patterns out for us and was really, good about, hey, whenever you need to practice, just come on down. So I was like, I'll bring Mikey down. I like Mikey. Mikey's a good kid. He wants to bowl. And, they helped us out. So I'll bring him down so we can bowl, help him out. And we had a blast. I mean, he finished minus 100, but it was, he's 12 years old. Bowling against
15 and 16 or 15-year-olds, right?
Bowling against, like 18-year-old. Like there was 30 kids in the U18 division.
Oh, he has to bowl the U18.
Yeah, he has to make a certain cut. Yeah.
I thought he was U15 or something.
He is U15 in junior gold, like standards.
Gotcha.
And there might be like a payout for that. I don't understand exactly how it works. But like if you want like the whole tournament as a whole, he is still in the same field. So it is a little bit interesting how that works. But he went out there, and I think it was like 46 feet or maybe not 45 feet. And it was, I can't remember what kind of pattern it was, but it was like a pretty low ratio. And he was about minus 100. He did pretty good. He grinded. We had a rough 150 game. He shot 170, 160 to start, and they weren't bad games. But he's 12.
Yeah.
Mikey, he doesn't have a lot of experience, and I'm trying to keep his head in it. And then he gets up there and shoots like a 230 game, and I'm like, okay, hey, you never know, right? You never know. Never say never.
Never say never.
Never say never. And the next two games, he came off down a little bit, but in good spirits, and he was walking out every shot. It was 44 feet. He was walking every shot out, which was awesome to see. And then it was good. And we walked out, and I was like, okay, so you're ready to go? And he's like, I just really want to go in and see how the other guys played him. And I looked at him and said, you're 12 years old, and you're interested to see where the other kids played him. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, let's go. So we went back in, and he ended up following around some kids that bowled really well. And I just sat back and just waited for him, if he asked any questions or something like that, just to kind of answer. But we sat there for like another hour and watched match play. And then he was like, okay, I'm ready to go now. I kind of see what balls they were using. And
Did
stuff.
they re-oil for that?
No. But you could see where, everybody was kind of playing. So it was interesting because I'm just sitting there, and he's like, well, you want to go? I was like, no, I just got some mac and cheese bites. I might as well sit down and enjoy my time.
That's awesome.
Good for him, man. We went there. Yeah. So he's pretty, he's
check out his ball review on our channel.
He's ready to be good at 12 years old.
Yeah. No, he's going to mash it.
Yeah. I mean, when you're
just got to stay cool. He's got to keep that Scaccia head off of his shoulders.
We do not have a bad head. But I will tell you, he is the only one hooked. I mean, now this could be bad or good, but he was like right off the rip. He's playing like 15 to 5.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Mikey, listen, we're on 44 feet. You might not want to, you
might
not want to try to, might not want to try to throw it to the gutter. Next shot, he throws even further right, just peels off the gutter. And I'm like,
okay, never mind. I'll shut up now.
Just do whatever you want. just. And he's like, what do you think I should do? I said, just hit it harder. He's like, okay. Then
in the great words of Nick Harris,
just hit it
just
harder.
Keep moving lefter.
I'm like, what the heck? I'm like, I'm left-handed, and you're on the left-hand side lane. I can't move past 5. I get a nosebleed. So it was good though.
Well, good job ball repping.
Thanks. I was a ball rep for the weekend. Yeah. Thank you
for a 12-year-old. All right, so let's move on to our Masters recap. But before we do, don't forget to like, subscribe, click the bell to get alerts from the channel, and share with your friends while you're doing that. And please check out the Etsy shop. And
I'm here for the Thane Bang.
That's right. Check out the new shirts. And you can always email us at downlanepod@gmail.com and check out Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. All right. Well, let's welcome on our very next guest. He has earned 2 PBA national titles, 3 regional titles, 6 European tour titles, and has won championships in 9 different countries. Oh, by the way, has a little YouTube channel with some unknown guy named Chris Barnes.
Who?
I wouldn't be surprised if you actually said who.
No. I remember Chris Barnes.
Yeah.
I remember him.
All right, let's welcome to this show, Mr. Stu Williams.
What's going on, guys?
What's going on? 100% Angus. How are you?
Yeah, pretty good. Just listening to you guys. Sound just like me and Bonds, just chatting shit.
Yeah, we try to be somewhere in the ballpark of you guys, minus all of the championships and greatness.
Yeah. No, what I mean, like I say, it's all about, it's my show. I'll talk about whatever nonsense I want to talk about. So were we talking about your son bowling then?
No, this is Anthony's cousin.
Okay.
Little Mikey. We call him Mayor Mike. This kid's ridiculous. He's 12 years old, and like he walks up to people. He's like, "Hey, how's it going? I'm Mike. Nice to meet you." He's just craziest personality.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, he got done bowling a tournament at my uncle's center. It was a youth event they had there. He made match play, and there's 8 people behind him, just because they all know him. He gets done in match play. He loses. He goes up, puts his balls in the bag. I said, "Man, you did pretty good." He goes, "Yeah, hold on, Anthony." Goes over and shakes all 8 people's hands, says, "Thank you so much for watching me." And I'm like, what the heck? I wouldn't even do that. I would just be like, I can't believe I just lost. But this kid's shaking people's hands. "Thank you so much for watching me. Thanks for coming." And yeah, that's why he is Mayor Mike. I mean, it's unbelievable. People love him.
You don't want that view. No, I'm just saying he just changed it to the split screen. This is the shit split screen. He doesn't want this one.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Weird.
But I wanted people to see your face better because you're so far.
No,
away.
this is the prime window for this. The other thing is weird. It just squashes you, and then you only see half of you guys.
We're so close. You know what I mean?
So anyway,
let's get right to it.
I don't want to be close to you by choice. You just make me come in here every week. You take the shop over.
I know.
I'm trying to do work, and then you're like, "Hey, we got a podcast to run. Sit down or get out." So I just sit down.
That's right. So first things first, what I wanted to get right into, first of all, I wanted to get your thoughts on, which probably everybody wanted to know about, oil pattern. Let's talk about that right out of the gate. What were your thoughts? We didn't even talk about this, by the way. I didn't talk to anybody much. I just kind of let everybody do their thing out there, other than ask you about coffee. But thoughts on oil pattern. What did you think?
What, the Masters?
Yes, sir.
Which one?
The 46-footer. There's only one.
Well, no, I was just wondering whether we were talking about, Sunday or Monday or Wednesday.
Oh, yeah. Well, just the choice
played,
that they made.
It played so drastically different.
They did.
Each time we played it.
Yeah.
I felt like on when we practiced, whichever day that was that Sunday we practiced?
Yeah. Yeah.
I felt like I could have probably thrown it backwards between my legs and I'd have been able to throw a 5-bagger. And then we turned up on Monday, and obviously they were a little drier in the front, which is, you kind of expect that. But I felt like the change in the pattern was like accelerated from a normal week when we bowl. So yeah, it was kind of odd how quickly it changed, but I think that comes from, when you don't have that much oil on the lane, like relatively speaking, because it's 46 feet and like every lane pattern that we ever bowl on is the same amount of oil. So the longer the pattern is, the less oil there is in the front part of the lane. I mean, that's just kind of maths for the people who are watching at home. Imagine like it like you've got this much oil, and then if it's like on a 35-foot pattern, you have this much oil. But if the pattern's 45 feet, now you have to to make the same amount of shape. So it just, where there's a lot of oil in the front on cheetah, there's like almost no oil in the front on those long patterns. So you're constantly chasing it left. Fun story. I watched the TV show and realized I bowled the wrong arrow for the most of the tournament. We kind of tried to use that. Sorry.
I was going to say, do you think that's fair to judge yourself that way though, because of the lane surface being so different?
No, I mean, I watched the matches as well. Like nobody was using the dry part of the lane at all.
Okay.
And the people who were successful kept the ball away from that dry part of the lane. Okay. Which was kind of how it was at the US Open. I just thought that part of the lane was pretty playable, especially on the fresh. But I guess a lot of other people didn't feel that way, because the pair that we left, our third block when we bowled on fresh, I mean, everybody struck on that pair after we'd been there.
After we left.
Well, everybody struck. Did you not strike the first game? I thought you had a pretty good game.
We all scored that game.
Yeah. So, I mean, Zulmazran struggled a little bit, but everybody else struck pretty good. We had the 300, and then the next game, Low Shatter came on, and I think he said he had an 8-pin for 260.
Oh.
So there was a lot of high scores on that pair. So yeah, but in hindsight, I think that like with the way the field actually bowled the lanes, I think it made more sense to not really use the dry at all. But you know,
So I guess the length of the pattern would kind of
tell you to play
more left, right? Like, but the dry wanted to make us move to the right to get to the friction. It was like the length is telling you I should be closer to the head pin, but then the dry is there giving you free hook, and it's like, which one do you want to choose?
Yeah, I also think that the fact that the 8 boards are tightened down there in that place, and like it's almost like there's a little trough at 8, made a big difference. That's why the scores were so high in the match play when guys could just use that part of the lane. I mean, I bowled many moons ago. I bowled 860 in that place on a 50-foot pattern, kind of playing second arrow, which makes almost no sense. But, you know, that was just kind of the way that place is. So, like I say, it was just, I think tactically I just played the lanes wrong. I think, to be honest, I bowled the practice session. I didn't even realize the pattern was 46 feet. I might have been better if I hadn't realized it was 46 feet the whole tournament.
But you scored pretty good on the burn day, but we all were left.
Well, I didn't really. I mean, I had one good game to finish. Like I sort of shot 70 over the last 2, but like I mean, I bowled terrible that day also. I just didn't bowl very well. Like, I mean, the first game was unbelievable on that first day. I bowled 236 and used 5 different balls.
You were changing a lot, yeah.
Yeah, it was wild. I couldn't find an option that looked like it was the right thing. That was incredibly lucky that I scored that high. But yeah.
Yeah, for me, I recall I could get to the pocket all day, and I remember as soon as we started, the ball just checked up as soon as it hit the lane. I threw anything with surface in the bag, except for my 3D offset had a little bit of surface on it. But everything I could get to the pocket, but I just could not strike all day. But then day 2, I could get some strikes and I was plus a little bit, but I physically bowled bad all day. Had I bowled better on day 2, I could have actually scored a little bit. But none of us, I think Alex and Thornburg.
Northhouse.
Thank you.
Thornburg.
I don't know why I said that. But yeah, Northhouse. He bowled really good all week. But he was left of us. He kind of played them right, like you said.
Yeah, he actually didn't. He bowled really shitty the second day because he bowled pretty decent on the burn. Then he bowled shitty. Then he bowled good again because he got to like 140 over.
But
he was playing left of us on the last.
No. I meant like he didn't bowl well every day. Was what I meant. Right. He struggled. Like I felt like they were brutal when we played the morning.
That was my favorite shift. I'm on the left. So
I was about to say you're left-handed.
Yeah, you don't count. You stayed in the same spot all 3 days.
No,
okay.
I moved the board left. All right. No, but the second day they looked tricky for the righties because I was watching and they looked weird, and I was like, well, they played wider. They played like wider and longer, so I could just get a little bit left, if that makes sense.
Lefty terminology is the absolute. Yeah, they played wider.
Yeah, they played well. Yeah,
look out of here.
Didn't come off the gutter as good as the day before. Yeah, that's how I looked at it. I'm literally Don't ask me about terminology because we're bowling nationals.
This is the kid that says he just looks at 3 all day.
I just looked at 3. That's all I do. So we bowled nationals, and I told him I'm putting it off the bumper, and I'm watching it bounce off the bumper. And he's like, "There's no bumpers on these lanes." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm looking at like 3, but I'm hitting 10, but it's bouncing off the bumper for a strike. So you can't listen to me." I just, whatever my brain does, it works. But I just moved a little left that day. They didn't come off the gutter as well as the other day. The what was it? The Tuesday shift, they came off the gutter for me.
Really, we went fresh. We went burn, fresh.
Yeah, I messed it up, which is typical. I got the wrong day in there. But Tuesday they came off the gutter harder. I couldn't be on top of it as much as I wanted to, and then I like the last day better. They played tighter for me.
By tighter, do you mean like more oil or narrower?
I'm gonna say, yeah, they played. I don't know. I'm confused. I confused myself. Freaking gosh darn it!
All right.
Wednesday they played like wider. There was more oil on the gutter, so I could feel as if I could get on the gutter better. Tuesday, the oil felt narrower, like it wasn't as wide, so that came off the gutter harder. That's how I of it.
He's making up all new terminology, just like every year we hear a new shim, we hear
Listen,
what else is there? Push. What's the new terminology this year? Oh, trap it. That's a new terminology that
I've always heard trap it, but that's just how I looked at it.
I've literally never heard of a lefty trapping it.
Oh, he tries to.
I trap it. Just
so anyway, let's talk about this seriously. Like, who's the best league bowler out of you two?
He out averages me currently, but so does every lefty in this house.
So what are you at? What's a good league bowler at where you're at? Like what's a number?
I don't know.
A good league bowler here can average north of 225 or 230.
Okay.
They're very easy here.
My dad makes them easy. He likes scores. I think I'm like 236.
236. Okay. All right. Yeah. I'm fascinated. What about you, Carl? I guess I bet you're one of those guys who turns up and spends the whole time going, I like sport better.
Me?
I don't like house. No.
Oh, yeah.
Kyle.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kyle hates.
How'd you know that?
He wants to ban the house shot.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I hate those people.
I hate house shots.
Oh, no.
How did you know me though so well?
He watched your video.
No, he didn't.
No. I just know the type. He's the I want them easy for me and hard for everybody else.
Oh, you think I'm good? Wow, you didn't watch me too much.
No. It's not necessarily good. It's just that, like, this is ridiculous. People are averaging 260.
No, the reason why I think, if we want to get into it real quick and away from match,
I'm all about it.
But the reason why I think the house shot is bad for bowling is because it's bad for bowling and not for me. I couldn't give a crap about me. I suck. But I think it makes you guys look bad, honestly. Not bad physically, but these guys back here think they're as good as you.
Now, they just need me to come down and bowl league. I'll rip them in you, asshole. I know, no problem.
They're not going to put their money where their mouth is, but
this is great.
They just have no clue. You could put any color oil on the lane. You could put not topography. You could put oil graphs up. You could have Randy pretend to tell people what's out on the lane or what the guys are doing with their hands, blah, 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 blah. These guys still have absolutely no clue what is happening when you guys are bowling, which is why I think it should be like the old days where it's always hard or difficult.
Oh, now you're talking shit.
Listen, I don't mean
bowling's never been hard.
Yeah, but what I should say is not like what we did all week, because that would be more impossible, right?
No, but what I'm saying is like people always make it sound like they were splitting boards back in the day. Did you see the TOC show when Don Johnson bowled 299? He was throwing it all over the place.
No, I know there was always area, especially when.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I think I like the house shot. Like, I think that it has its place. I think that people get to go and they get to enjoy it, and I don't get this. Like, I don't go and play a par 3 course and think, oh man, I got a boat, I got a birdie on this hole, man, I can take Tiger Woods. Like, I don't think anybody who's bowling league thinks they're going to beat EJ.
Oh, he's good. He's really good.
Like, I mean, that's what I'm saying.
I've heard somebody say it that I'm as good as those guys. Why would I watch them? But
yeah, and that's fine.
A one-off case. Yeah,
but I bet they do watch.
Maybe
those guys always watch.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, I think there's a place for it. I would prefer. I like the sports shots myself, but
I also like to challenge myself. I'm a person that likes to challenge myself.
Some people don't, though. Like, I get it. There's a place in a
I understand. From my point of view, right? When I go out to bowl league, I can't think of anything worse than sport league. Sport league is like the worst thing that's ever been invented for me. Because
I guess for you, well, you go out and do it every day.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like for me personally, bowling sport league's awful because I'm going out to bowl league as a night out. Like I bowl with my wife, we have a good time, whatever. Like, but when I bowl sport league, it's like I have to try at least a little bit harder. Whereas when we bowl in the house shot, I can just go out for a fun time and I don't really need to pay too much attention to what I'm doing because if I hit that dry bit towards the right, my ball's probably going to hit the pocket. Like it's probably not going to be too challenging until the third game. So, you know, you can have a bit of fun and like most of the guys around you are fairly competitive with you because the lanes are a little easier. Fast forward, we bowl sport league. Well, I have to actually focus on what I'm doing because otherwise, you know, I'm going to make an asshole out of myself, not bowling very well. And on top of that, it's absolutely no use whatsoever for me because people bowl everywhere on the lane. And the lane, it's not practice because the lane isn't going to break down like that ever. So it's just like, it's kind of a night out ruined. Now, my wife loves it because she isn't like super powerful. So all the people who beat the shit out of her all year on the house shot, when it comes to the summer and we bowl in the sport league, she gets revenge.
Right.
Like she kicks their ass all summer. Me? Yeah. It just means less people are going to get in the high game pot when we bowl league, when we bowl sport. If we bowl house, everybody wants to get in because everybody thinks they can bowl 300.
That's true.
So let me ask you this question, kind of related both to the Masters and this conversation. So the current is kind of a
field
format question. The current rule is a 190 average and a USBC member to enter the tournament. So this has been kind of a Twitter sphere question. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on that? Is that high enough, too low, since the scores are kind of what I'll use the word inflated on league night?
I think that the Masters is an event for the members. Of the USBC.
Okay.
So I don't think that there should be a scenario where those guys are shut out if they want to bowl. Now, I think that it might be nice if there was a window for the guys who bowl for a living to enter, but I didn't really see anybody who bowled for a living who didn't make it into the main field. So
that was one thing we actually talked about is we were wondering if you guys got choice.
Yeah, because we definitely speculated. We're like,
they have to.
Yeah.
How can you not have the guys who do it for a living, let them have their first dibs at it?
You guys literally needed to be sitting at your computer at like whatever time it opened up.
You also got to understand though that like for most of the professional bowlers, like we understand that we're going to need that money to be able to enter. Like having $500 just sitting around for a regular person isn't necessarily as easy. Like to be able to just pull the trigger on it. Like, So like for us, I mean, like, you know, we sent, I mean, I think I might have saved Barnes because I was like, have you entered yet? He's like, what? But like in general, we do a pretty good job of like getting each other's backs. And like, I think that like the USBC will send a message to the ball companies like, hey, it seems like you've got a few guys who haven't entered, but we don't get an entry window.
That's interesting. I really think that they had to have like a
premium spot or something. Yeah.
Like, hey, you bowl on tour. Here's your window. You got 5
and like it wouldn't be unreasonable, but like I say, I don't think anybody's missing out on getting in. Like when USBC do that, I tend to just look as to which day you can enter, and I just put a thing because it never fills the first day. So
besides this year,
yeah, this year was like within an hour.
It wasn't done in one day. It was still it still went to the next day.
That's what they told us.
Yeah, because I tried to sign up. I think it was after the show, the day it was open. I thought.
Yeah, it opened the day that we did the podcast.
And I tried to get on after, and they were like, you're waitlisted. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, like I say, I mean, If it was late in the day. Because, I mean, but I knew when it was going to open. So I just put a note in my calendar.
Yeah, I
And
think
then
it
I
was
went
like
online
8
and
o'clock.
entered.
Yeah, 8 o'clock, I think it was full because I was sitting at the bar trying to figure out how to get my phone to work enough to get on. And it never worked. So
Anyway,
that's interesting.
Did you guys enjoy bowling it? Like, with it being the 5 on a pair and stuff?
It didn't bother me because, I mean, right now, first of all, I'm a nobody, right? So it is what it is. I think sometimes the 2 on a lane, which 4 per pair, can be sometimes really fast. So I kind of liked having 5 as long as you're paying attention. If you got a guy you got to chase down, no. But my group was really good at staying together and being on time, so it didn't bother me too much.
Although when you have a bunch of ham and eggers like me taking 2 shots a frame, it does take a long time.
I mean, you can even look at the scores. There's some guys who are very good who also had to throw a lot of spares.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. Everybody's going to have those games. So you think about that too much. It didn't bother me. What about you though? Because it is a little bit of a
I can't stand it. It's fucking awful.
So you like 4 per pair, right? Like PBA.
Well, we know you already don't like the pace of the double jump, right?
Well, no, my issue with the double jump, I'm fine with the double jump. My issue is the double jump saves the guys who bowl slow, because the rules for slow bowling are all based around your pair being behind, but you almost can't get behind because you get your turn. So what I want to do is I want the PBA to change to 2-lane etiquette, and you just got to go.
Right.
And then if you're not going, then it's going to be very obvious that you're behind the pace, and then that will weed out the slow bowlers because it'll be way easier to spot the slow bowlers. And then they can be disciplined, for want of a better description, whatever that looks like. And then we can go back to doing pair etiquette again. But at the minute, it's a train wreck because the slow bowlers take forever, and there's no real way of tracking how slow they really are because, like, nobody gets behind. So all the rules are based on you being behind.
But you can't get behind. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I try to be really conscious of it because I don't want to be that guy that
slows the pace.
Jumps somebody, which happened.
You really think about shit a lot. Like,
my brain
you were easy. Like, how many people bowl a Masters? Like 390? Did they say something like that?
Yeah.
398.
Like, there was no way that you weren't in like the top, like 60% of the field.
I crumbled the last 4 games.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, no, I don't mean like that. Of the bowlers who were there was definitely 100 bowlers who were significantly worse than you.
Oh, well, I appreciate that.
I freaking love you. You are being great. Listen, the ride home, I was just trying to talk to him, and he was just stuck in his own head about this for 9 hours. And I was like, dude, get out. Like, it's not
me and you cashed for the same amount.
You and fair enough, Stu. Fair enough.
Thank God.
I mean, this is great. I mean,
yeah. It wasn't so much about where I cashed or whatever. It was that I completely lost the lane for the last 4 games. That's what
okay.
it was.
I bowled 680 for 4 on the second day.
Well, so I wanted to ask about the last day too, because we all came out like gangbusters the first game, right? So we had a great pair, which everybody seemed to love that pair anyway. And then I can't remember if you said it as we were leaving the pair. I think it was. Yeah, it was. We were picking up our stuff, and Stu says, it'd be nice if we could stay here all day, but now we got to go where they're going to screw up the lanes. and what happened? I think we all just went down.
Yeah, it's just.
But the lanes seemed super tight. Well, as we went to the higher end, the lanes were tighter.
Well, one of them was each time.
Yeah.
And one of them flew. And then, yeah, it was just like that place is just, it's pretty challenging. And then, like, once you start going across the center and like you have 5 on a pair, and like, I also don't think that I think the USBC did a lot of really good things with the tournament. I think the way they divided up the let's use the phrase premier players wasn't good. So there was some pairs that had 4 really good bowlers on it. So that meant there was several pairs, like, no disrespect, but the pair to the right of us had Jimmy Allen directing people on double jump. Like, so what does that tell you about, like, and they had some people who could bowl on the pair. I'm just saying that, like, it was more by luck than by management, because there wasn't another professional bowler on that pair. There was the youth kid who was the 2-handed youth kid. There was the guy from Canada who bowled really well. But like it was more by luck that they actually had some okay bowlers on that pair. Like, it wasn't planned. Like, you know, there was one pair that had Sherman, Vi, Michael Davidson, and Kyle Bigelow all on the same pair. Like, that's a
lot of good players there.
Yeah, and then like it was Belmo, Wes Malott, Ryan Barnes, and Peter Fox all on the same pair. Like, so when you've got those 4 guys on that pair, like, there isn't more premier players, for just to clarify, than there are people who are inexperienced players who haven't been there. So when there's pairs that have 4 PBA players, like, who bowl all the time, and then there's another pair that has 5 guys who never bowl anything, well, how do you think the lanes are going to break down? Like, they need to do a better job of, like, spreading the players out. And it makes a huge advantage to bowl with other PBA players. Like, it's crazy, because when you change lane, like, you get a free hit every time. Like, we had a pretty nice cross. Like, you know, we had five guys we all bowled okay. But like, the pairs we were following was just like all over the place. And then when we were moving, like, the pairs, like, one time we'd follow Prather's pair, the next time we'd follow Sterner's pair, and then we followed one other pair, but they were the only people we followed the whole tournament. You only had 3 different skips. So, like, we bowled 15 games, but we only followed 3 or maybe 4 sets of people, because they wanted to try and keep it, like, so you bowled the same amount of games in the like the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. So that just didn't really work very well either. I didn't think. I don't think it affected the outcome of the tournament, like who won. Right. But I think that it did hurt some of the guys for making the bracket. So
another thing that they could have paid attention to, or maybe either overlooked or looked at intentionally, the Bones bowled together, which was interesting. It's not going to affect me.
Oh, that's not even the funniest one. There was 2 people in the field with the same name who bowled on the same lane the first day.
Yeah.
Will Clark. There was 2 Will Clarks on the same lane the first block.
What?
Yeah. Which one are you?
I think they ended up calling like Will A. Clark and Will Clark, but it was crazy. We saw that, we started laughing. Somebody's asking how much it is to enter the Masters. It's $500 US.
Now, were they both on the same squad too? Both Will Clarks?
Yeah, they bowled in the same lane.
They were literally on the same lane.
Yeah.
The same time together.
Yeah, they were crossing.
They bowled on lane. They started like together on lane 66 or whatever it was. They were both on the same lane.
So, do they really pay attention to who crosses where?
No, it's random. But that's what I'm saying. Like,
okay. All right.
The other thing as well is like, I feel like a lot of bowling tournaments don't understand that computers aren't random. The computers can't do random. They just sort them.
Right.
And if you have the sort screwed up, or you use the same sort every time, you're going to get like similar results, because it's sorting the data. It's not random. Computers don't do random. That isn't a thing.
They have to do what they're told.
Yeah. So do you think that they have to go back in and kind of revamp their system on how to pair up?
Yeah, I think what they need to do is, like, the system, from my understanding, the system, they can group players, and they used to group players based on who was the slow and who were the fast bowlers. So they'd have like 1s, 2s, and 3s. So you wouldn't have like 4 3s on a pair. because they were the slow ones. And you also wouldn't have 4 ones on a pair because they were all the fast bowlers. So I think that they need to like have like maybe 2 or 3 tiers of players. And, you know, you have like the top 50 or whatever you want to call it. And then you have like notable players and Eagle winners, and then you have the rest. And you kind of divide the players up.
I think that's a good idea.
Like, rather than ending up with like 3 PBA top 50 guys on the same pad, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
And there's obviously going to be people drop through the cracks. Well, thanks for showing up, Pizza Wings. And I've been binging episodes recently. Just Detox My Infinite. I was wondering, should I go with the light 2000? Yeah. I mean, the thing with Stormers is like a lot of their finishes are like 500 underneath, and then you go over the top with whatever the last finishing pad is. So like 2000, if you do like 500, 1000, 2000, it's going to be way cleaner than if you do like 500, then 2000 over the top of it.
So before we go, because we have league tonight, wanted to ask you a question
Kyle's
or two.
favorite time to bowl.
What question or two about World Series, because that's this coming week. It's kind of grueling, right? Like it's a long week or two of bowling.
Yeah, we're bowling 5-game blocks. It's got a little more grueling because they made it 5 on a pair. And we bowl 5-game blocks, and it's 2 a day. So each pattern is 2 days worth of bowling. So it's 20 games each pattern. And then it was supposed to be that the World Championships was finished at that point. Now the players raised that it didn't really make sense that there wasn't any World Championships. So now the World Championships is actually almost a week later. So it's kind of a bit weird the way it's ended up going down. Like they're trying to fit in what was the right thing to do, but if they needed to do the right thing from the get-go so they could make it fit with the schedule. So now we finish bowling on Friday, and that cuts the TV shows for Cheetah, Scorpion, and Shark. And the top 12 guys will be cut for the World Championships. So if you don't make one of the TV shows for Cheetah, Scorpion, or Shark, you finish bowling on Friday, and then you bowl again on Thursday morning the following week to bowl a 12-game round robin. So it's they tried to correct what was perceived as an error, and it's kind of made it just a little unfortunate with the way it's gone down. So hopefully there aren't many guys who make the top 12 who didn't make a show, because if you've made a show, you've only got to wait around for an extra couple of days. But if you don't make a show and you're not in that World versus USA, you're done Friday night and you're not bowling again until Thursday morning.
Yeah, and unless you're nearby, do you go home for a few days? Do you wait? Oof.
Well, it's also like if you end up finishing 12th, I think it's an extra 2,000 from 13th. So it's worthwhile, but it's not as worthwhile as you think when you've got to have 5 or 6 hotel nights.
Yeah.
And then food, like, you got to figure on it being at least $300 a week in food. Like, and I mean, that's eating like a pauper right now.
Yeah.
2 meals a day. The hotel is going to cost you the $60 or $70 a night. So, yeah.
That sounds cheap.
Well, assuming you room with someone, but yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So, yeah, it can get kind of pricey. So, you can eat through that. You can eat through like $1,000 pretty easily.
Yeah.
Between the hotel and the extra stay and the food and stuff. So obviously you want to make that cut, but at the same time, if you're 13th and 12th is 400 behind the show, it might not be like total heartbreak if you don't make that.
Yeah,
I mean, you're always going to want to make it, but like I say, it's not going to be like the one that you. Yeah. So, any other questions?
Yeah, Anthony has a question for you.
I cut you off. Sorry, I wasn't sure how far you were going to go. How's 15 pounds? You still throwing it?
Yeah, funny story. I was actually practicing with Nathan Bohr on Monday, and I took a couple of 16-pounders down there because I obviously didn't have the majority of my arsenal. I wanted to try and break the lane down a little bit because we were seeing what the patterns did. And so I took a 16-pound reality down there, and I was like, ooh, she a little heavy. I bowled with 16 pounds for 12 or 13 years. I bowled with 15 for like 3 months, and now a 16-pound ball feels like it's 100.
It's crazy.
I'm not even going to touch a 14 now. Like drilling a 14-pound ball for my wife makes me nervous about how heavy a 15 is going to feel just by picking it up off and on and off the press.
Well, Billy said rest in peace to 14. I don't know if that's official.
100% it is, thank God.
Okay, but like, they were going flying off the truck 2 weeks ago, right? Is that just a 1 week thing? Is everybody going back to 15?
No, a couple of guys. I mean, Wes is pretty banged up, so
yeah.
Wes has been using 14. So Wes has used 14. Smallwood changed to 14. He's actually had a decent amount of success the few weeks he's changed. Doherty is using 14 now. He had an issue with his wrist. Rash was talking about moving to 14 before he got hurt. Then he sort of went back and forth. Now he's feeling a bit better. I think he's decided not to bother with 14. Dick Allen, I think, is starting to throw 14 now. Who else? Ronnie Russell threw it for 1 week. Now he's throwing 16. So
strong man.
Who else? There's been a few people. I think Marshall drilled 114, but in the same week he also drilled a 15 and a 16. So he was all over the map. Yeah, there's been a few people. Oh, Simonelli's thrown 14 now.
Oh wow.
So
I'm gonna give it a shot this summer.
Why?
I do also have some wrist pain. That's why I was wearing that wrist thingy. But I throw it. Well, forget it. You're gonna yell at me because it's all in my head. But anyway, I don't know.
No. Well, there was two parts to that. Why are you waiting till the summer?
Oh, because I am not in the position to be able to switch out my entire arsenal to 14 pounds, especially right before we head to Reno. So like,
if you're afraid you like it, then you're gonna want to switch.
Right.
Okay.
So like, if I were to drill up one and it was no good, no harm, no foul. But if I like it, I can't switch out 20 bowling balls today. Not that I need to bring 20 bowling balls to Reno, but I'm still going to need 6. So I would be scared that I would need to bring 20 or re-drill 6 balls to Reno. That would be
my
the
man Eddie
reason.
Robert Eddy is the owner of Lightning Strikes. He's one of the sponsors of our show.
Nice.
Super, super nice guy. I think that people have been saying that it's more like the 14s seem to hook a bit more overall, and I think people like it's just not putting as much wear and tear on them when they're bowling with them. So
yeah, which is kind of exactly what I was hoping for myself, but I wanted to wait till after we go to Reno. But especially if I like it. So, but maybe you're right. Maybe you don't wait.
Why are you looking at me?
I don't know.
Because then I gotta order it. That's what it is.
Yeah, maybe you just give it to me for free.
Well, why don't you try and get a secondhand one?
Oh, for sure. But again, the problem is, what if I like it?
That's what he's worried about. He's worried about liking it, and then he's gonna actually have to go drill some more balls to do it.
Yeah, but how many do you realistically need?
So you go out to Reno, you only bring 3.
6. All you need is really, if you're really worried about Reno and you want to bring 6, you can get 6. I mean,
yeah. All right. Great. I'll see you this week.
Crap.
Thanks, Stu.
I'm booked for the week.
The other thing I wanted to say before you go, Stu, the beef stew good shot counter was up to 9, but it stopped after the first game of the last day.
Did he know he was on the
counter? He did not know. He was not aware of the counter.
First day, I kid you not. He comes up to me and goes, 5. 5 what? I got 5 good shots. Good, Kyle. Good. I'm glad you got 5 good shots from Stu. Were you up to 5 or 6?
9.
I know, but the first day.
I don't remember. I don't know.
Yes, that's what he talked about in the hotel room.
Yep.
Yeah.
We had a counter. We had a counter going.
Okay.
Good shots.
Good shot. So you only got to 9?
9. That's how good I was.
Like, I mean, I feel like I would have good shot you more in that first game of the third day.
Yeah, it's true.
You were just on a hot streak, so I think maybe.
Yeah, I was in the zone. I thought we were gonna have the miracle at, the miracle at the Allen Park, but we didn't.
Yeah.
Then I had to follow everybody else, and I did tell Dom that the only chance I had of getting 100 over was doing it the first game and then holding on for dear life.
Yeah. It was a crazy cross that day. It was nuts.
Do you know what that really sums up? People suck. That's all that comes down to. People just fucking suck.
The left was good.
Why can't you just bowl the lane like I want you to?
Yeah, couldn't they have just played where we were playing so that I could score better?
Why don't you guys put out a proposal list during the check-in? Let's all do this.
It's a good idea.
Well, I mean, I thought it was pretty fucking obvious what you were supposed to do when we had 260 over the first game and everybody else goes, nah, we won't do that. I'd much rather bowl 175 from 17 with a dull jam. Much rather it.
To each their own. To each their own, I want to get the full experience.
All right, well, I've got to run, boys.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Stu. Thank you for hanging out with us for the part of the show here. It was fun talking with you at the Masters. I hope it was equally as fun from your point of view.
Yeah. No, it was fun. It wasn't like I said to Dom ago. I said, I'm quite fortunate. I've got 5 reasonable human beings to bowl with. Dom was literally yelling at Gottschall, can you tell these? Oh, there's not that many people watching. Can you tell these cunts to bowl? They need to just go. And then I guess somebody yelled at one of Dom's people on his cross because he jumped him, and then he wouldn't go. And Dom walked over to that pair and said, which one of you did it? And started yelling at their whole pair. Which one of you fuckers told him he couldn't go? Dom's like, you need to go over there and apologize. Now he won't go. So, yeah.
Well, on that note, Stu, thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries, boys.
And
nice meeting you.
It was nice meeting you.
Well.
Nice crossing with you. Have a great trip next week. All right.
All right. Thanks, man. Take it easy. See you later.
Take care.
Bye.
Alrighty. Well, that was Beef Stew. What a good time. A little colorful.
That was great.
He's a character.
That was great.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that thoroughly.
Joey D's calling the FCC as we speak.
And he was very accurate in the figuring out Kyle.
Oh, in a heartbeat, man.
Yeah,
Do I have a tell?
So I watched their show, and I watched it last night and did whatever. And it was interesting because I kind of knew what you were going to ask and I already knew the answers, and then he came on and I'm like, okay, he said exactly what Kyle said. I was like, I can't wait for them because they're going to be like a married couple. They're going to be so excited.
But I wasn't even going to ask him about that stuff. And he just came out and
he's just here to talk. He loved it.
Read you like a book.
He did.
Yeah, he did. And then he knew. And I was
me.
like, oh, he said yesterday, he's like, I had a great cross. And I was like, oh, good. That's good. Kyle is going to be so happy.
Oh, he said that on the show.
He said that on his show. So good job, buddy.
Wow.
Did good. I can take this thing off, right? Because it's throwing me off. And he said that, and then he also, talked about the pattern, exactly what you said in the limited words that you shared with me this past week. So
what he said.
I was like, basically, he said exactly what he said here, and he said, the same thing you said. As soon as you move pairs, it was just no idea what was going on. The left was good.
No kidding. All 7 of you had a great shot.
Well, except for the pair hit Jesper, man. I don't know if it was really him or whatever. He had 360 grit in his ball for my 140 game. I mean, I bowled bad that game. I did everything bad. So it is what it is. But,
but also when you hit a tough pair, it can make you feel like you're bowling bad too.
No. I bowled bad. I went back and got my scores. So
did you tell yourself that at all?
No. I I was very angry at myself.
And you know what? He read you like a book. He's like, you're the guy who likes sports shots and hates house shots.
Maybe he looked us up.
He had
to have looked us up because there's no way he could have just told.
I don't know. Maybe you have a tell.
Maybe I have a tell.
Maybe maybe the pro guys just know.
They do it for a living.
Maybe he just read you like a book, like a fortune teller, like a what is that? What's that lady? She wears the hat and
you got it on the first try.
Fortune teller. I thought there was a cooler name for that.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that was fun. His character.
He's great.
Yeah.
He's more colorful than I am.
You're telling me. He wasn't that colorful when we crossed, but wow.
Well, I mean, he was doing his job.
He was
doing his job. You gotta,
yeah.
You gotta let him do his job.
But we need to go bowling. So don't forget to like, subscribe, click the bell to get alerts from the channel. Wiggy,
you can't take me down, Wig.
Believe in you, Wig. I believe in you.
You ain't got a shot.
You will take him down on Tuesday. Don't forget to like, subscribe, click the bell to get alerts from the channel. Check out Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Also the merch shop where you can also see the sweet new shirts and everything else that we have on there on Etsy. You can email us at downlanepod@gmail.com. And I forget what else do I normally say.
Thank you to my family.
But thank you to Jack Scaccia, proprietor of Town and Country Lanes. Thank you to Austin VanBuren, the producer. Great show tonight. Thank you to Anthony. Good show tonight. I was on time. Made it just in time.
Boom.
From his meal tasting. Thank you to my family.
You didn't bring us anything back, Kyle.
I ate it all.
Great point.
I literally ate the whole thing.
What a horrible human being.
Realized.
I ate the whole thing. I ate everything.
You probably had a beautiful steak.
We had filet mignon, prime rib.
Shut your mouth.
Chicken breast.
Shut your dirty mouth.
I
don't want to hear it anymore. You're disgusting.
And then I ate green
You don't even
beans.
eat steak.
I had to try
it. You don't even eat steak, and you didn't bring me any.
I had to eat it for the people. And then I had chicken skewers. I had a chicken like
you're fired
wrap thing, a flatbread,
you're fired.
Mini hot dogs, and a blanket.
Thank you to my family, Stephanie, Zach, and Ethan.
Jam bread.
Even though this is our last week of bowling, we will be back next week. We'll see you guys. This is Down Lane Podcast.